Ladies and gentlemen, if I can begin to bring the crowd to order. There's some open room over here to my right on this side of the room if you're too crowded back here. My name is Joe Lassiter. I'm the faculty chair for the iLab, and I want to welcome you to the iLab on behalf of Gordon Jones, its director, Jody Goldstein, consultant to the iLab, and Neil Doyle, because it's those three people who've made a lot of this happen today. We're going to start with a brief video, which will call everything to order and give us some sense of what's going on here. Again, welcome to all of you who are here from the community, all of you who are here from Harvard, its many schools, its many departments, and also hi, which is appropriate given our logo, to all of you who are outside the Harvard wall actually viewing this ceremony from all around the world. It's with great pleasure that I introduce you to a man who has two important roles here. First, he's Dean of the Harvard Business School, and that's a very important role to everybody everywhere in the world. But most importantly to us here at the lab, he's chair of our advisory board and the person who helped bring this to life here on our campus. Nitin Nohria.
Welcome. I'm speaking today as one of the many deans who serve on the advisory board of the Harvard iLab. I'm very excited to see this new space formally open. In this capacity, I'd like to share with you my sense of the wonderful opportunity the iLab represents. The iLab represents a promise. It's a promise in both senses of the word promise. A commitment, in the sense that we commit to doing something, and a reason to expect something, an expectation. This is something that holds a lot of promise. Let's focus first on the commitment. President Faust has been steadfast in her belief that Harvard, acting as one university, can achieve more than any student or faculty or school can achieve individually. The iLab is in some ways the physical and tangible representation of that belief, a symbol that urges us to interact, and not just within Harvard, I should note, but with our neighbors in Allston, Boston, and even the world more broadly, and to learn from one another so that at the end of the day, we create as a whole something that is much more than the sum of our parts. But what is equally important about the iLab is the other meaning of promise, a reason to expect something. Here we move beyond the bricks or concrete and mortar to a more aspirational level. The iLab, indeed even the idea of the iLab, has caused new things to happen within the university. It's been home to Farhan Adria, perhaps the world's most creative chef, as he launched the Global Ideas Challenge competition. It had hosted Eric Ries, founder of the Lean Startup Movement, Peter Thiel, technology entrepreneur and co-founder of PayPal, and it has drawn more than 1,000 students from across the university to just these two events. It's the location where a range of cross-school team-based classes now meet and do their project work. And it's a resource to business owners and entrepreneurs in the community. In the same vein as the welcoming hi on the outside of the building, more than anything, it represents a wonderful spirit of why not and how about. It's this sense of promise that I believe makes it such a unique asset within Harvard. Because the iLab will be the home for people with the seed of an idea and an eagerness to carry it forward, I think great things can happen here. And what these people will do is find other people like them with ideas and eagerness, but people quite different from them in terms of their skill and expertise. And when you mix that together in this great cauldron called the iLab, I think great things can happen. People will look at their problems in new ways. They'll find novel solutions to old challenges. And ultimately, they'll create the means to make a difference in the world. I think the world desperately needs innovation today. On behalf of the entire faculty advisory group and my fellow deans, and knowing that Drew likely has her own list, there are still a few individuals I'd like to introduce and recognize here today. The first is Peter Tufano, who was formerly a colleague at Harvard Business School and is now the dean of the Said Business School at Oxford. If there is one person whose vision and determination have made the iLab possible, it's Peter. It was his seed of an idea, and he worked tirelessly to gather input, refine the concept, and build excitement for what a space like this could offer to the entire community. I'd also like to acknowledge Katie Lapp and President Faust. If Peter saw the vision, they got it, and they got it very quickly. The speed of this project, we just began to conceive of it in January, to the fact that it's now open, is a testament to how even Harvard can get things done sometimes very, very quickly. Joe Lassiter picked up on Peter's baton and has been a steadfast champion and innovator. I'm very grateful to him for all the leadership he has provided. Gordon Jones, Neil Doyle, and Jody Goldstein are the remarkable iLab crew. They're quickly building a range of programs and activities for the community. We've had 2,000 visitors in September, more than 2,000 in October, and this is before the launch. The fact that you're all here and we have thousands of people here, I hope will make the iLab yet more successful as time goes forward. I also want to recognize Frank Batten Jr. His father was an extraordinary model of entrepreneurship, having created an amazing organization called the Weather Channel. He's with us today, and it's wonderful that the iLab is housed in a building that bears the Batten family name. Mayor Thomas Menino, I know how important it is to you that Boston remain a vital hub for innovation. Your enthusiasm and support for this project have been crucial, and we hope in some ways the iLab becomes yet another node in this great possibility that Boston has to recapture the mantle of innovation that we've historically enjoyed. The BRA, the Allston Task Force, and our neighbors here in Allston have offered vital support and input to the project. I hope you will find this space a space that is welcoming to all of you. Karen Gordon-Mills, who's the head of the SBA, is here, and we're delighted that the SBA will be one of the partner organizations that serves as a resource to the entire community, particularly in Allston and Boston. And finally, my colleagues on the iLab Advisory Board, thank you for thinking creatively and actively about the activities that we can undertake in this unfolding vision of the iLab. I'm truly grateful that you have partnered with all of us to create this space. So let me leave you with a short and fun video that adds their welcome to mine.
What is innovation?
Solutions.
Inspiring.
Experimental.
Free of preconceptions.
Configurable.
Vibrant.
Compelling.
Sustainable.
Intriguing.
Dynamic. Creative.
Collaborative.
Disruptive.
Different.
Global.
Stylish.
Harvard iLab.
Business.
Government.
Arts and culture.
Law. Education.
Life sciences.
Energy.
Entrepreneurship.
Public health.
Consumer internet.
And, of course,
Coffee.
Harvard iLab.
A node in the network.
A public space.
Welcoming.
Multi-purpose. Experimental.
creating communities.
Across the university.
One Harvard. Harvard iLab.
Every student is welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Veni qua.
Student-centered.
Faculty enabled. It's a place where students can take their ideas
Big ideas.
Small ideas.
Great ideas.
and move them forward into the world.
Unlock your idea.
It'll change the world.
Harvard iLab.
What's your idea?
For 375 years, Harvard University has been successful by making sure that the schools never really cooperated on anything with one another. We had a new president, President Faust, who had a different idea, that there was virtue in one Harvard. There were problems that we could attack as a university that simply were beyond the scope of anyone's skill. And without her leadership and without her interest, I promise you 10 deans could do nothing with one another, not even make a video. President Faust?
Thank you, Joe. He's too generous, but I'll take it. And I also now realize that my deans are actually movie stars, so that was pretty great. I'm so delighted to see everyone here today, and I want to especially thank Nitin for his welcome because he needs to be given a lot of credit. He was acting like one of a herd there, but he really has been a major leadership force, not just in the conception of this, but in getting it done. The reason it happened between January and now is in no small part due to him. So Nitin, special thanks to you. And I'm also really delighted to see Peter back over here because it all started with you, Peter, and I hope you're as happy to see what's become of it as we are all so happy to have you here to see it and to realize what you imagined. I'm delighted also to welcome our neighbors today, Representative Moran, Representative Honan, and I believe Councilor Siomo is here as well. So special greetings to them. And a very, very deep welcome of warmth and enthusiasm to our inimitable mayor, Tom Menino. At his inauguration ceremony in 2010, Mayor Menino called for, and I'm going to quote him, a new era of shared innovation, fueled by Boston's combination of ingenuity and perseverance. And in the city's thriving innovation district, which is a key component of his innovation agenda, we see new ideas enlivening the city and new businesses creating jobs and spurring economic growth. Now, we hear many voices emphasizing that the continued vitality of the city and the state and the nation rests on our ability to support innovation. And over 3 3/4 centuries, we at Harvard have been doing that, along with our partners in Boston, in the United States, and in the wider world. We've been using knowledge to invent the future. We could start with the beginning of the alphabet: anti-malarial drugs, artificial skin, atomic clocks, automatic digital computers, and we're still just at A. Those are Harvard firsts, and here I am with a whole alphabet left to go. Don't worry, I won't do it. But we could move down the innovation list from the very first catcher's mask to the first designated driver campaign to the first iron lung. And one discovers applications of knowledge to improve human health and human lives, productivity and safety, and change the ways in which people interact, change the ways in which people use information. And we can trace all of them to innovations at Harvard. We even can claim some responsibility for the first inhalable calorie-free chocolate, which made life just a little bit sweeter. Now, our history provides inspiration and it nurtures aspiration. What if, just imagine, what if applying for federal financial aid were as simple as filing your taxes online? Or what if the health of pregnant women and mothers around the world could be improved in ways as straightforward as sending a text message? Or what if recording live television on your computer were as easy as visiting a website? Those are some of the questions that members of the Harvard community are asking now, and importantly are answering with projects and companies like Aid or Texting Towards Healthier Villages or Tivoli. Now, our history reminds us that the gap between the possible and the impossible, the gap between imagination and implementation, has been spanned before, and it will be spanned again. The Harvard Innovation Lab is itself a bridge spanning those divides, a bridge constructed with those gaps in mind, a bridge that is defined and distinguished by a desire to draw together aspiring and established innovators from across the university and from beyond the university as well. It's meant to bring people in and to increase the chance of unexpected encounters and the chance for that very special spark where an idea can be born and then transformed and then take on a life of its own. Last week, as many of you know, Mark Zuckerberg came back to Harvard. And as we were chatting, I told him about the iLab, and he immediately said, I have to go there. Now, he was really scheduled. He had all these people who decided what he was going to do every minute of his visit. That all got thrown up in the air because he wanted to come and see the iLab. And I don't know who was more excited during his visit, the members of the startup tribe, who did a double take when he suddenly walked in the room. It was like Elvis is in the building. Or the inventors of Tivoli, who watched as Facebook's creator navigated their own website. Or Mark himself, who said he thinks he would have spent all his time in the iLab if it had existed when he was a student here. Now, before the iLab, students like Mark connected and collaborated wherever they could find space. Mentors mentored and networks networked and speakers spoke, and each of these things was happening. But now they can happen in one place. We are gathering great minds under a single roof so that they can become greater together. I just want to reiterate thanks to Peter Tufano for recognizing the potential of this building and this idea, and for envisioning the future that we all will inhabit here together. Once again, thanks to Nitin, who drove this idea and made it happen in a way that is a model for all of us across the university in everything we undertake. And I thank the members of the advisory board for being the adopters of the iLab concept and for bringing the university together around the idea. Creating a more collaborative, a more connected Harvard is, as Joe Lassiter said, one of my very highest goals as president. And I feel that with the iLab today, we have made such a significant step towards the realization of that purpose. So I personally want to thank you all for what this means to me and what it means for my vision of what Harvard can and must be. I also want to thank Joe Lassiter and Gordon Jones. You have infused your leadership with so much excitement and creativity and outreach that has made this such a pleasure for everyone who has been engaged with you on the project. Most of all, I want to thank the Harvard students and alumni and the faculty and staff, our Allston neighbors, our partners and colleagues from the Boston innovation community, Karen Gordon Mills, my friend, our alumna, and a wonderful leader of innovation nationwide for being here with us today. And I thank everyone who participated in the events leading up to today's opening, the Startup Scramble, which was attended by students across the university and many mentors. It was a snapshot of the community that is emerging here. Innovation in the 21st century demands that we ask not only what we can do, but what we ought to do. It demands that we continuously question who we are and where we came from and where we're going and why. A very famous alumnus of Harvard, George Santayana, the philosopher, once remarked, "Imagination needs a soil in history, tradition, and human institutions, else its random growths are not significant enough, and like trivial melodies, will go immediately out of fashion." A soil in history, tradition, human institutions. This is the soil in which Harvard and Boston, with their unique combination of ingenuity and perseverance, find their deepest roots. This is the soil from which the fruits of imagination have sprung for generations. And here at the Harvard Innovation Lab, Inventors and innovators will plant and nurture the seeds of new ideas. These will be ideas that will flourish and thrive, and ideas that will change all of our futures in ways that we really look forward to trying to imagine. Thank you so much for being here.
This is the first step on a long path. Harvard and Boston have been joined in heart and at the hip for centuries. The steps that we've been able to take here today, though, have taken place largely because of the guidance of a single mayor, Mayor Menino.
Thank you very much, Joe, President Faust, Dean Nohria. It's a great day for the neighborhood, isn't it? I mean, just think about it. This concept was out there not for too long a period of time. And we did it because everybody joined together and made it happen. And just look at what's going to happen in this building. The ideas, the concepts. I think this is a really exciting day for the Allston community, for the university, and for the entrepreneurs and innovators across the city of Boston. The guys over in Cambridge need a passport to get in here, but we'll let them come in. We'll let them in once in a while, you know. The president and the dean, they understand that Harvard University is made up of more than just students and the faculty. They know the neighbors in Allston, another key to the strength as an institution, and we respect that relationship. The iLab is an important new resource for the Harvard-Allston neighborhoods. Student and faculty building new connections with the neighborhoods. Establish an entrepreneur help coach local businesses, owners. And public meeting spaces for some folks. We're not going to let every group meet here, but we're going to be some. Right, President Faust? Just a few. We'll have to check them out. No, seriously. It's a great open space for the community to come to for different meetings. This plan will help make this place a success. The iLab shows that the community is the most important ingredient in the word collaboration. You know, I ushered my last term, I talked about shared innovation. I launched the Innovation District on the waterfront. And since January 2010, we welcomed 90 new companies. We created about 3,000 jobs in that area of our city. We're named the most innovative city in the world for the second year in a row. We're ranked the 6th most economically powerful city in the world, ahead of places like Hong Kong, Beijing, and Sydney. Boston is a place where big ideas are born because we have the talent to make those ideas a reality. The higher proportion of young people than any other city in a big city in the country, we're well positioned to keep leading in the years ahead. And Harvard's new iLab will play an essential role in fostering those new ideas. The biggest impact will come from the deeper connection that are made among our students, the faculty, entrepreneurs, and the surrounding neighborhoods. But you know, the university can't do it alone. They really can't. That's why organizations like the Center for Women in Enterprise, the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center Network, and Karen is with us today, the Small Business Administration, have stepped up to help with one-on-one coaching, workshops, and training sessions. So I want to thank everyone who was involved in this. This is a great day. It's a great beginning. And I just want to say to all of you here, you know, a lot of thought's been Joe and your team, Gordon. You put a lot of thought into this building. And I think also how much detail, but even to the detail of a local artist with the work that's hanging from the ceiling. That's a local artist who created all that. And the idea behind this place also is to feature local artists on a regular basis, so they'll be part of what's happening here. So I just want to say to everyone that thank you for participating in this morning's event. Thank you, President Faust, and Dean Nohria. Thank you, and Joe and Gordon, all of you, and the development team who put this together, all the other deans who worked on this. I'm looking forward to the next alliteration. What comes out of the thought process here? The little young entrepreneurs that will come here and use their brain power. Who could be here? Next Facebook? Next Google? Who knows? Just dream and think about it. Because we have the brain power, we have the ability. And this building's going to foster new ideas, a new thought process. I just looked for the next leaders, next generation of leaders coming out of this building. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So we were asked earlier, when does this event end? It ends with a ceremony. The mayor said it was actually most events ended when he stopped speaking. But this ends with a ceremony, and particular Mayor Menino and President Faust, if you could take the scissors and use them to cut the ribbon, and then after the ribbon is cut, I invite the crowd to enter the lab and take a look. And Gordon, if you can hold up your hand. And Jody, are you out there? You're right, Joe. Okay, Jody Goldstein's over there, Neil Doyle behind her, and I'll be wandering around. And if you've got questions, feel free to answer. But let's let photography capture this event. Okay. Yeah, get near one another, but no fighting. Congratulations. Yay. And now to you guys, if you can gather on the podium, so we need to take photographs of y'all. So for the people, for the deans and other visitors and Batten Associates, if you'll please go to the podium here, we've got some photographs that we need to take of you as well. And again, on behalf of the iLab, thank everybody for being here. We appreciate it.